But those can be real, those are real trouble, and they don't explain it that way. They tell you that you have to visualize and do these affirmations to get what you want, and it's not true. It's not true. In fact, it's so not true that you can use those visualizations and those affirmations if they don't feel good. You're doing just the opposite of what you want. That's how lost that teaching is. They're just little tools, dude. They're almost irrelevant. They're almost irrelevant. Now, the truth of the matter is, it doesn't matter what you do to raise your vibration. There is no going to the pet store and playing with a puppy or going to the beach and rolling in the sand is the same as an affirmation or better than or worse than. All that matters is what works for you. You're a fingerprint. You're a fingerprint. And all of these things that we talk about in these exercises and practices are just permission slips to raise your vibration. That's the only purpose of them. That's the only purpose of them, is to raise your vibration, not to make you a good affirmator, not to make you a good visualizer. None of that. None of that. Now, if you start visualizing things and it feels good, keep visualizing it. But I don't like to call it a visualization because it seems like there's me over here, and then there's this thing I want to think about having someday when I get there. What I like to do is, and this is a very subtle distinction, but it's very powerful, and I want you to know this difference. I'm glad you brought this up. Is if you talk about your imagination, we're talking about constructing images, imaging. And what happens is when you begin to put the image up in your mind, you can feel yourself in that image, and it's right now. So the imagining of whatever it is that you want, or the imagining of hugging the girl and kissing her, or the imagining of, and I was just doing this practice with this girl that I know, just imagining tickling her back with my fingers, and then watching her get the chills on her shoulders, and then tickling down to her butt, and then down to the bottom of her legs, and then massaging her feet, and then watching her experience the relaxation and the and just feeling that feeling through the imagining of that, right? And then imagining, and then what I've been practicing lately is not going to things, but really chilling out and calming my mind down, and then letting the things come to me. So I went from causing those real fun feeling effects on that woman to watching my dog stick her face out the window and like just that, this is so great. It's so free. And then using that image, but just whatever the image is that feels good, looking at that image, just keep looking at that image. And at some point that image is going to lose its luster. You just put it back on the show. So if you're still watching this video and you've heard some things that might have resonated with you and you think there might be something possible for you, click down below, get in touch with me, let's have a conversation, and you're going to know immediately whether or not this is a match. And whatever ends up happening is absolutely perfect. But I sure would love to connect with you and just have a conversation.